And now it's time to meet today's competitors. First, for visiting Stanford, Tara Lynn Wynn, Ana Paula Gutierrez, Sienna Robinson, Chloe Whitner, Ashley Carter, Temple Landry, Ava Sorrento, Victoria Cluck, Amanda Zhang, Claire Dean, Ira Alexieva, Portia Trinidad, and Brenna Nolt. The Cardinal are led by head coach Tabitha Yin, assisted by coaches Vince Smurrow and Hallie Mossett. Ladies and gentlemen, the visiting Stanford Cardinal. Gymnasts, you may clear the floor at this time.
It's taking over, there's no escape. Over your shoulder, don't look away. Get your mind right for something you ain't ever seen. You better get moving, ready or not. Start to go down, here it comes now. Better get moving, ready or not. Start to go down, here it comes now. Get ready, get
And now, your Arizona Gymcats. A freshman from Henderson, Nevada, Tirza Wise. A redshirt senior from Sparks, Nevada, Malia Hargrove. A senior from Maple Grove, Minnesota, Elena Deese. A junior from Las Vegas, Nevada, Elizabeth LaRusso. A senior from Argyle, Texas, Caroline Harry. A junior from Cary, North Carolina, Emily Mueller. A freshman from Baycliff, Texas, Abigail Martin. A freshman from Naperville, Illinois, Ainsley Griever. A sophomore from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Jordan Schultz. A freshman from Frisco, Texas, Sophie Durr. A senior from San Diego, California, Bailey McCabe. A sophomore from Gunter, Texas, Sophia Stevens. A sophomore from Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Gianna Lynchner. A junior from Marietta, California, Allison Fears. A senior from Fleet, England, Jessica Castles. A senior from Grapevine, Texas, Laura Burhans. A senior from Tucson, Arizona, Madison Kearney. A sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, Emma Strong. A freshman from Houston, Texas, Miss Haley Havner. A senior from McLean, Wisconsin, Taylor Raskin. And freshman from Houston, Texas, Sophia Maisel. Your Gym Cats are led by head coach John Court, associate head coach Taylor Spears, assistant coach Kylie Cratchwell, and athletic trainer Samantha Yeoman. Ladies and gentlemen, your Arizona Gym Cats. Gymnasts.
And welcome to an exciting Saturday afternoon here in the University of Arizona in Tucson. Today, the Arizona Wildcats will be going head-to-head against the Stanford Cardinals in what is set to really be an exciting dual meet. I am Michelle Strom, your Arizona commentator, and I'm here to bring you all the action this afternoon. Last week, the Arizona Wildcats delivered another outstanding performance in their home opener against Sacramento State, achieving a season-high team score of a 196.5, with exceptional performances on the bars beam, both scoring a season-high of 49.125. The floor exercise was equally stellar, tying their season best with a score of 49.4. Standout performances included freshman Sophie Durr on the uneven bars with a career best of a 9.9. Allison Fears and Malia Hargrove led the amazing floor lineup for the Wildcats with a 9.9. Allison Fears was also the top scorer on beam with a 9.875. Senior Malia Hargrove also delivered a top performance with an incredible vault by doing a stuck Yurchenko 1.5, which I know she's going to want to replicate that here again today. So far this season, Stanford has faced some challenges in their first home meet of the season, scoring a 193.625 against Michigan, but showcased their resilience and competitive spirit by coming back last week and scored a 196.1 against number 12 Denver and number 1 Oklahoma. So look for Stanford to showcase some really solid gymnastics with lots of stuck landings here today. The Wildcats are led by John Court in his 6th season as head coach, who brings over 2 decades of experience to the team, with associate head coach Taylor Spears and assistant coach Kylie Cratchwell. Today's meet is more than just about winning, which I know Arizona would like to go undefeated this January to really create some positive momentum, but each week is about each team's performance and their road to nationals in April. Each week's score, regardless of winning or losing the competition, the national qualifying score, you'll hear us talk about the NQS quite a bit, and that is compiled and is very crucial for their journey to the national championships. The NQS is calculated from the top 6 scores for each team and individuals, 3 of which must come from away meets, with their highest score of the season, which would be dropped. So far, the Arizona Wildcats are ranked number 19 and Stanford is 44th. As we gear up for today's meet, the Wildcats will be looking to build on their impressive momentum from last week and look to improve on the small details like stuck landings and building confidence as the Wildcats move into their next meet next weekend against UCLA on the road. So get ready, Wildcat fans. The excitement is all about being here in McHale. We have a great crowd here today, and you are watching Arizona Gymnastics on the Arizona live stream today. You can also follow along with live scoring if you visit the Arizona live stream website, and we'll get you that information here shortly so you can follow along with the scores along with the competition. Arizona is going to begin with vault. Stanford is on bars. And Arizona is really looking to build off of last week's competition. They had kind of some tight scores on vault last week. I know they're looking to increase those scores. Speaking with John Court, he is really looking for his team to score a 9.825 per individual. Those are the scores they want to be able to count for each event, which is going to give them an overall score above a 49 on the event. That's really what the team is looking for, and those stuck landings is really what's going to make all the difference, especially here on vault. So the majority of the team is going to do a vault that's going to start at a 9.95, which means that the vault cannot score above a 9.95. If you watch Malia Hargrove, she is the senior for the Wildcats. Her vault is going to start at a 10.0, so she could get that perfect 10.0. She's really been looking for that her whole entire career. She does an incredible vault. She just did one in warm-up here and just nailed the landing, and she's going to be looking to do that here in the competition. She's looking for that perfect 10. But since that score does start at a 9.95 for the rest of the team, they're looking to reduce all of the small deductions that they can, which is usually landing deductions. So each time they take a step or a hop on that landing, it's just more of a deduction, and it's really hurting their team score. So vault is an area of opportunity for Arizona to really increase their overall team score. They've really done a great job this season, starting off with scores in the mid 196. That's the best that Arizona has done since they in program history, and they're looking to build on that and be able to really break that 197 marker. Arizona is currently ranked number 19, and I know they're trying to improve that and make it to a top standing position for regionals and potentially make it to nationals. The competition's about to get underway here in McHale, and Arizona is going to be leading off on vault. Ainsley Griever, she is a freshman, and she's been a great contributor here for the Arizona Wildcats, not only on vault, but on all events here that you'll get to see her later today. John Court's been playing with the vault lineup a little bit, trying to move girls around to see what is the best way for Arizona to score high in the team score and on this event. So he's changed the order a little bit this week compared to last week, but you will see anchor Allison Fears today, who does a great Yurchenko, and again, Malia Hargrove, who you're going to see with that Yurchenko 1.5. Ainsley Griever's going to lead off today. Arizona in their beautiful white leotards with the sparkly A. This has really been their signature leotard, and everybody loves to see this one. Ainsley from Naperville, Illinois is going to lead off the Wildcats today. And that was a great vault for Arizona. Nice height and distance on that vault, and really good solid landing. That is a great way for Arizona to start off today. On bars for Stanford is Claire Dean. Nice ray, cast handstand to her pack release move, glide turn glide. It's just a little slow on that glide turn glide there. A little short on that final handstand, blind full into a double tuck with a small hop on the landing. Great start for Stanford on bars. Next up on vault is Emma Strom, sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. She will also be doing that Yurchenko full. For Emma, she's been really trying to dial in on these landings this week, really focusing on absorbing her landing, not having a hop. She has lots of height and distance you'll see on this vault, but needs to find that landing to really maximize her score. And all week, that has been her goal. And we saw some of her vaults in warm-up where she just drilled the landing, and everybody was pretty excited to see that. So next up for Arizona is Emma Strom. And she really did go for that landing, opened up just a little too soon and had that step forward. Unfortunately, anytime you're moving forward on a landing, the judges are going to take a deduction for maybe being a little bit shorter, under-rotated, but has that potential really to score big on that vault and just needs to find her air awareness and be able to land that vault. Next up for Stanford is Amanda Zhang. And the score is coming up for Claire Dean at 9.825 on bars. Huge Jaeger to overshoot. Nice connection there. And excuse me, this is Ana Paul Gutierrez for Stanford. Nice blind change. Double front half out. Little chest down on that landing, but held onto that landing nicely. That's a great routine for Stanford. Next up for Arizona is Abigail Martin. Nice Yurchenko full. Just had that movement backward. If she could just hold on to that landing, she's got a great vault there. Lots of height and distance again. Just needs to find a way to land. The lines there on the mat, those are a guide for the judges to make sure that the gymnast is actually having their block and rotation off the table that's going straight. It's a guide for them to see if they were going crooked. It doesn't count against them if they're going outside the lines, but there probably would be a deduction for twisting early off the table or something like that if they were to go outside those lines. And that will be a nice solid score for Arizona of a 9.8 for Abigail Martin. Ava Sorrentino is up next for Stanford. And the score is coming up for Ana Paul Gutierrez of a 9.875. So definitely a solid start here for Stanford on bars. And this is really where Stanford shines. Last week they had a 49.45, which is an extremely high event score for a team, and they're, I know, looking to build on that. So again, Ava Sorrentino is up for Stanford. And her combination release move there, pack salto, nice pirouette, and finishing in a handstand. The judges are looking for these handstand positions, just slightly short there, but nice body position, double leg dismount, and a hop forward. Had a little pike down on that dismount, but really nice routine with her legs glued together through that. Next up is Malia Hargrove for the Wildcats, doing her Yurchenko 1.5. And that was a gorgeous vault for Malia. Just a little hop forward on that landing, but that is gonna help the Wildcats with their vault score. You can see just how much height and distance she gets. Just that little scooch forward, which is a small deduction for that, usually a 0.05. That should score really well for Arizona, and they definitely need that here in this vault rotation. And I misspoke on that last routine for Stanford. Their team score from last meet was a 49.25, which still very high score. This is where Stanford really shines, is on bars. You're going to see them also do well on floor. And really a lot of where their team score is coming from is just really executed gymnastics. They're doing well with all of the small details, keeping their toes pointed, feet together, stuck landings. But the judges are really looking for handstand positions on bars. They want to see the gymnast actually hit within 10 degrees of vertical on every time they do a cast handstand, or they're pirouetting and finishing in a handstand. That's some of those small details that maybe a spectator wouldn't notice. They look at, wow, that was a great routine, lots of height on their release moves. But if those handstands are not right there in vertical, there is a small deduction each time. So just a little short there on that handstand. Beautiful piked Jaeger, a little close to the bar when she caught that. Short on that handstand as well. Her toe point is just gorgeous, though, throughout this routine. Setting up for her dismount. Now that handstand was definitely a handstand. Nice double lay into a beautiful stuck landing. If she could just hit some of those handstands in that routine, that is a just gorgeous routine for Stanford. Jessica Castles is up next for Arizona. Nice height and distance on that. She had a hop backward, and something new for this season is the athletes have to actually show control with their landing. They have to be able to count at least 1 second. So we would say 1 gymnastics, 2 gymnastics, okay, then turn, salute, to not have another 0.05 deduction. I would say that was close. This is so the gymnasts have to actually stick and land, and she didn't stick the landing, but she has to still show control after she makes that hop backwards, or there's another 0.05 deduction. So it's whether or not the judges are going to take it. And I would say based on the score that I'm seeing flashed, they probably did take that additional 0.05 for not being in total control of her landing. Looks like one judge 9.75, 9.65, so she'll have a 9.7 average for Jessica Castles, which is a little low for her historically, and really a lot of that is because of that landing. So once she finds that landing, she's going to score extremely high. And over on bars, Stanford showing a really high score of a 9.925 for last competitor, Ava Sorrentino. Next up is Ira Alexeva on bars for Stanford. And I'm sorry, I have the wrong rotation here. This is Chloe Whitner. Blind full. Overshoot handstand, nice position on that overshoot. Beautiful handstand position. Double lay. She just drilled that landing too. That was beautiful. And that should score well for Arizona. And your final competitor in this vault rotation is Allison Fears. Great vault for Arizona by Allison Fears. Beautiful height and distance. And almost had that stuck landing, just a little scooch back, but not a huge deduction on that. You can see her chest was up when she landed. That's another thing the judges are looking for with each landing, is making sure their chest is upward, not bent over. And she did a really nice job holding on to all of those positions throughout the entire vault. Allison Fears will be scoring a 9.825, and that would be a great score to end the vault rotation for the Arizona Wildcats. You're going to see a few girls that will do an exhibition vault, and those scores do not count towards the final team score. They're really just trying to gain some confidence by doing a vault in competition in, you know, this great setting with all the fans cheering. It's a nice way for them to just really try out a routine. And the score is coming in for Chloe Whitner. And it looks like the judges might be conferencing. Looks like one judge had a 10-0 and one had a 9-9, so that will get a 9.95 average. Next up for Stanford is Brenna Knoll. Nice pack down to the low bar. Beautiful pirouette. Just needs to keep her toes together a little bit there on that pirouette, but beautiful in the handstand position. Toe on off, toe full into a double flyaway with a little, she buckled her knees just a little bit on that landing, had to take a little hop backward. But if you noticed on that toe full, she was just a little short of vertical, so she will have a little deduction there. But overall, great routine. Caroline Harry is up next as an exhibition for Arizona. Great vault for Caroline. She had nice distance from the table. That's what we mean by we say we want height and distance. We want a nice push off the table so their hips are rising, but you want to be able to see them move away from the table. And she did a nice job having some distance on that with a pretty solid landing. She had a little bit of a hop there, but overall, not a huge deduction on the landing. So she will definitely be excited about that being in the exhibition spot, that she put up a nice vault. Looks like she's going to score a 9.7, Caroline Harry. Looks like we're going to have one more exhibition vault. Sophie Durr, she's a freshman. She'll be doing all around today. This score won't count towards the team score, but this is a great way for her to practice. Yurchenko full, just needs to absorb that landing, but nice body position, nice height and distance throughout that vault. That's a great way for a freshman to try out her routines here in this great atmosphere at McHale. And that will conclude our first rotation. Arizona is going to move to bars. Stanford will move to vault. And we will begin our 2-minute warm-up here soon. And you are watching Arizona Gymnastics on the Arizona live stream.
vault for Stanford, Blair D.
Don't need nothing but a good time. How can I resist? Ain't looking for nothing but a good time, and it don't get better than this. Don't need nothing.
Now on bars for Arizona, Emily Muller.
Come on. I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling alright. Gonna let it all hang out. Wanna make some noise. Really,
That handstand position. Went through that a little quick on that overshoot. Nice handstand there. Double lay to a beautiful stuck landing. Now that is a great way for Arizona to start off on bars. She is going to be super happy about that routine and that score. Next up is Amanda Zhang. Nice Yurchenko full. Just had that hop backwards landing deduction there, but overall good body position. Her legs seem to be pretty together through the air. Solid lift off the table. Just needs to find that landing. Next up for Arizona is Malia Hargrove. Last week she also scored a 9.8. Senior out of Sparks, Nevada. She's really just been a solid leader for this team. This is her 5th year being with the Wildcats. Finishing off her gymnastics career. And Emily Muller, the score is coming up. 9-9 from one judge, 9-9 as her final score. A great way for Arizona to start off on bars. See if Malia can continue that momentum. 9.65 over on vault for the Cardinals. The judges are preparing and getting ready for Malia to get ready to go. Sometimes this is a little nervous energy for the athlete as they sit and wait for the judges to salute them so they can begin. I know as an athlete, standing there waiting for the judge always was a little nerve-wracking, and it looks like they're now ready for Malia to mount on bars. Nice handstand, clear hip handstand, right into a Tkachev. Beautiful handstand position there. Overshoot, nailed that handstand. Just needs her final dismount and a nice stuck landing here. Half in, half out. Beautiful stuck landing. Arizona is dialed in on these landings here tonight. Next up for Stanford is Brenna Nault. Oh, and she has a really unique vault. It's that same kind of round off entry half. It's a half turn onto the table, and then she's able to push off the table, do a half turn. Looks like kind of, you know, a back flip piked position and landing there. Difficult vault. It's unique. It's something different. I'd love to see something different than just the typical Yurchenko full. Very, you know, hard to train that vault. She did a really nice job there with trying to find that landing, just a little small hop on the landing. Next up for Arizona is Abigail Martin. freshman from Texas. And 9.875 is the score being flashed for Malia Hargrove. So Arizona off to a really solid start here on bars. Abigail Martin scored a 9.775 last week. And I know she'll want to continue this momentum that the Wildcats have created here with the first two routines.
Now on bars for Arizona, Abigail Martin.
And Abigail's going to mount from the low bar and not the jump to the high bar. Hip cast handstand, toe on off to her Maloney. Nice big pack, beautiful extension in her legs, nice pirouette. Was a little short of that handstand position on the pirouette. Setting up for her dismount, double lay, and another stuck landing. That's 3 stuck landings for Arizona. Those are the details John Court mentioned at the beginning of the competition that he was looking for his team to really dial in on, and that is to stick the landings everywhere they could. Each time they do that, they're adding points back in, and you can see that with the first 2 scores just being so solid for Arizona. Next up on vault is Brenna Nault. I'm sorry, Terilyn Wynn. Sorry, I don't seem to have the correct order here for Stanford. I apologize with some of these names that I have gotten incorrectly. 9.825 is the score being flashed on vault. Terilyn Wynn up for Stanford. Nice Yurchenko 1.5. Just a hop forward on that landing. And Abigail Martin putting up a huge score for Arizona. One judge giving that perfect 10. 9.95 from another, so 9.975 career high. I would say probably a team high this season. 9.975 for Abigail Martin. Really awesome job. I know getting that perfect score of a 10-0, pretty darn close. 0.25 away. She's got her whole career to find that elusive 10, and I know she'll probably be able to do that. One judge giving her the 10, another a 9.95. So next up for Arizona is Bailey McCabe. Last week, Bailey had a little bit of a uncharacteristic bar routine, just had a little flaw in one of her release moves. I know she'll be looking to correct that this week. She had a 9.35 last week, but she has really been the heart and soul of this bar team here at Arizona. She's one of the captains this year as well, senior Bailey McCabe. Nice handstand position, blind change, beautiful handstand. Piked Jaeger, handstand, overshoot handstand, toe circle to the high bar, setting up for a dismount. Double lay. Oh, and just had that hop forward. That was a gorgeous routine for Bailey McCabe. Nice recovery from last week. I know she wanted to really make that routine, and she did an awesome job there for Arizona on bars. Nice Yurchenko 1.5, just a tiny little hop there on the landing. Her knees bent just a little bit as she was trying to come around for that last half on that 1.5, but really great height, great distance, really great vault for Stanford there. And Terilyn Wynn had a 9.825 for her Yurchenko 1.5. So landings are really proving to be very important here on vault. You can see some of the scores are affected. They're doing difficult vaults, but they're not getting those high scores, and that's really because of landing. So have to be able to find the landing on every event, and especially on vault. And the last vaulter is a 9.825, and that was for Ana Paula Gutierrez. Next up for Arizona is Sophie Durr. Last week, Sophie Durr had a 9.9. She's a freshman and really just, came out and just did a phenomenal job on bar. She's a natural bar worker. It's a treat to watch her. She has great form, but her technique is so flawless, and you're going to see that here during this routine. I hope I didn't jinx her, but I know she is a phenomenal bar worker. Nice handstand. Beautiful toe on off. Wow, sky high on that ray. Nice pack salto. Pirouette. Oh my goodness, right on top in that handstand position. Really needs to just find this landing. This is an incredible routine. And stuck landing right there for Sophie Durr. Now that was a phenomenal routine. I loved every moment of that routine, and her technique is just flawless all the way to that stuck landing. Now that was just an incredible bar rotation for Arizona. That routine is going to score well, and wow, it's all I can say is that was just a phenomenal routine to watch. And we still have one more amazing competitor to go for Arizona, and that's Allison Fears. I'm excited to see this score flash for Sophie Durr. That was really flawless, beautiful routine. Looks like we have a 9.9 from one judge, waiting for the other 9.9. So 9.9 from both judges for Sophie Durr. Again, building that momentum for this Arizona Wildcat bar team. Allison Fears is up next. Last week, she had a 9.85. She's been a really solid contributor to this bar lineup. Being in the anchor position, she shows she's got experience and confidence to be in this position. Her lines are gorgeous. Her form, technique, always flawless. Again, I don't want to jinx her. She is just such a beautiful competitor to watch and such a leader on this team. The girls really look up to her, as she is just always such a bright light for this team.
Now on bars for Arizona, Allison Fears.
Nice cast handstand position. Nice Tkachev. Wow, beautiful extension on that. Clear hip handstand to the low bar, overshoot handstand. Hit that handstand, setting up for her dismount. Double lay. Oh, and she tried to hold on to that landing there, just a hop forward, but beautiful routine, and was really nice to see her hit all of those handstands. Well, that was a great bar rotation for Arizona. I know they're going to just be thrilled with that overall score. So far, they're at a 49.475. So they were able to make back a lot of what they lost. After that first rotation, they were down 0.45, so 4.5 tenths going into that second rotation. So they were able to come back and show that they're a really strong, competitive team. And Arizona's going to move to the balance beam, which has been always one of their stronger events. Stanford will move to floor. And this is definitely going to be a tight competition going into the last rotation. Right now, it looks like Arizona is about 2 tenths ahead, but we do not have this final score yet for Allison Fears. 9.85 from one judge, it looks like a 9.75 from another judge. So They'll average that out to be a 9-8, I believe, will be that final score. We're going to have another exhibition for Arizona. Taylor Raskin, she's a senior. She was in the bar lineup all last year. She has been coming back from an injury, and she is definitely a beautiful bar worker. She has these really tall, long lines, gorgeous release move in the middle. And so it'll be really nice to have her also back in the bar lineup to have that depth and experience moving into some of the final parts of this season. And it's great when these athletes can come back from injuries and work their way back into this lineup.
For Arizona, Taylor Raskin.
You can see how tall and long her lines are. She just kind of clipped the low bar with her foot there. That is a deduction anytime you hit one of the bars with your feet. And also doesn't feel great. Setting up for her dismount. Double lay. And a nice solid landing there. So that's a great way to get those jitters out and do a routine in front of this big crowd and the judges and make it back into the lineup. Looks like we're going to have one more exhibition. Tira Wise, she's a freshman. All-around gymnast, will be doing all 4 events in her career here at Arizona. And today she'll be doing this exhibition spot on bars. She's from Henderson, Nevada. And speaking with some of these gymnasts before the meet, I asked some of their pre-meet rituals or superstitions that they might have, and some of them said they like to put their gear in the same place in every meet, making sure everything is exactly the same. Eating gummy bears, there's a handful of them, the same colors every single time. Having a certain coffee drink right before they come, or even just wearing the same necklace. So it's kind of fun to hear the girls' superstitions and what they're trying to do as their rituals before they compete. And it is all about consistency and doing the same thing. If you had a good result from a previous competition, just making sure you're doing the same thing each time. So it's fun to be able to chat with them about what they like to do. So next up, Tirza Wise from Henderson, Nevada, again, freshman, and she is going to be just a really great contribution to this team on all 4 events. Nice cast handstand. Beautiful piked Jaeger there. Nice pack position. Really nice extension. Setting up for her dismount. Oh, and a beautiful landing on that. It's a blind landing, and she handled that beautifully. That was a great routine for freshman Tirza Wise. And I'm hearing super exciting. This was the highest score that Arizona has received as a team ever, 49.475. That breaks all records with this bar rotation. So really awesome rotation for them to come back after, having not a great vault rotation. It's a score that's below that 49 benchmark they're looking for. So that is really exciting that they were able to come back and get the highest score ever in Arizona history, 49.475. That is super exciting. So again, Arizona is going to move to beam, and we're excited to see them continue with this momentum. You're watching Arizona Gymnastics on the Arizona live stream.
We were victims of the night, the chemical
teams, you may now begin your 4-minute one-touch warm-up.
And it looks like Arizona will go first on the balance beam with Caroline Harry from Texas. And again, she's been super competitive for Arizona, super consistent. Again, not looking to jinx her, but she makes this routine look easy. Each week comes in, does her job. Solid routine, nerves of steel. She just really knows how to work the balance beam and not have a lot of concentration breaks and wobbles. She does a really nice job here in this leadoff position for Arizona. Caroline has a career high of a 9.9 on the balance beam, and she has been a Pac-12 academic honor roll recipient. Her required full turn. Sometimes that full turn can cause problems for athletes, getting a little nervous and wobbling on them. She handled that beautifully. Her required tumbling series. Handspring layout step out. Oh, and a really uncharacteristic fall from Caroline there on that tumbling series. She's going to remount the beam. They have about 30 seconds to get back up on the beam and finish their routine. Side flip with another big break from Caroline there with that wobble. She kind of bent over at the waist there. It's a hard skill to land, especially if you're a little nervous and you're trying to recover. Straddle jump, and then a straddle half. And this fall, what it does is it creates the rest of the Arizona team to have to stick. We can drop this score. There are 6 competitors and 5 scores that count. She does a nice job there on that dismount and a nice stick. I know she'll be disappointed with that, but these Arizona Wildcats are really great at coming back when there's adversity and a challenge in front of them. They really do a nice job typically of coming back and putting that together. So next up, for Stanford, Claire Dean, I'm hoping that I can get the order correct for Stanford on this rotation. I apologize again. I don't always have correct information here, even up on the scoreboard. Doesn't have the names listed correctly. So I'm hoping that I can get this correct for everyone listening at home. Each competitor gets to make up their routines and to their own personality, and you can tell she is just going to show this off. First pass. Double pike. Did have a little step forward. You really want to be able to step back and lunge. And you are able to have those landing mats in on the floor to help prevent some kind of injury to the ankles. And her second pass, 1.5 to a front full, done very nicely. Very difficult bounding, tumbling in combination there. Fun to see the entire team doing her routine next to her on the sidelines. Looks like even one of her coaches or choreographers doing the routine there with the rest of the team. Super fun. Kind of feel like watching him. He's great. And that was a great routine to start off the floor rotation for Stanford. Next up is Emily Muller. Last week, Emily had a 9.7. Emily's been great on this event of showing just very precise dance moves. She attacks the balance beam with lots of confidence, setting up for her tumbling pass. Aerial into a layout, step out, solid. Get that out of the way and feel more confident after the fall from Caroline Harry. And that's just really unfortunate. That's just not something we typically see from the leadoff from Arizona. Switch leap into a straddle jump. Nice dance combination. And her dismount round off 1.5. Little hop forward, but she's excited. She stayed on the balance beam there and didn't have a fall. And Arizona is back in it just like that. We can count the next 5 scores towards that team score and still walk away from the beam and the fall and still have a great overall team score. 9.775 for Dean from Stanford. Next up is Temple Landry for Stanford. And it appears to me that Stanford is only putting up 5 athletes on floor, and that is perfectly fine for them to do. They do not have to put up 6 athletes, that extra athletes, kind of like a buffer, so you're able to drop that lowest score. One and a half to front layout. Really nice height on that layout. You're looking for the second part of that to be higher. So you want that front layout to be higher than the 1.5. So switch leap, switch half ring. And setting up for her next tumbling pass. Double tuck. Had a solid landing on that. Looked just, I mean, a little heavy on her ankles there, but she handles that beautifully. So she did a 2-pass tumbling routine, which is you can either do 2 passes or 3 passes. You just have to have enough difficulty in the routine to get that 10-0 start value. And landing a double tuck at the end of the routine gives you a little extra bonus, and that's how she's able to do the 2-pass routine. Next up for Arizona is Jessica Castles. Last week she had a 9.825. She's been a solid beam worker for Arizona. Looks like the judges are still conferencing on the last routine. So we'll have just a little delay here as we wait for Jessica's routine to begin. And on floor, we have a 9.65 and a 9.85 from the 2 judges. 9.7 will be her average. I'm sorry, that will not be her average. Waiting for the final scores to come up. I'm trying to do a little bit of math here and catch these scores as they're being quickly flashed. Looks like a 9.75 is what her final score will be.
Now on court for Stanford,
And I think we're going to maybe go back to floor is what I'm hearing. I'm not entirely sure. The judges are still conferencing over on balance beam. And because Stanford only has 5 girls going, I think we're going to just change the order here a little bit and make things a little more confusing for me. But it looks like Amanda Zhang is up next for Stanford. Some fun Mario music here. Front layout into a Rudy. Nice landing. Again, you want that second skill, that Rudy, to be higher than the front layout for no deduction. I think everybody can probably remember their childhood playing Mario at home. It's kind of fun music here. Double tuck. She did go out of bounds there. That will be an added deduction to the execution of her landing. It is a 1/10 deduction to go out of bounds, plus the execution of kind of falling backwards or having over rotation there. So again, another 2-pass routine for Stanford. Emily Moeller looks like the score's a 9.875. Really impressive score. So Jessica Castles is now going to be able to go. That was kind of a long wait for Jessica, so hopefully she handles that stress of waiting a little longer than normal. She is an experienced team member here for Arizona. Jessica from Fleet, England. Back handspring layout, step out. Solid landing. Looked like she was trying to second guess that landing just a little bit, but did handle that nicely. Switch leap into a split leap. Front aerial into a beat jump. Had a little bit of a balance check there out of that front aerial. Jessica's a senior. Has been a great competitor on the balance beam. She has a nice double wolf turn there. Always a crowd favorite. Very difficult to do. Just even, try and get down in that position. And it's really difficult. Then try spinning around on 1 foot on 4 inches 2 times around. It's very difficult. To a round off 1.5 and a nice stuck landing. And that feels good for Jessica Castles. And the crowd here is chanting U of A because they are definitely excited to see Arizona come back after that fall on that very first routine. So next up for Stanford is going to be Brenna Nolt. And the last competitor, 9.55 for Zhang. Going out of bounds was that additional deduction there, bringing that score down to that 9.55. Looks like the judges are ready, and Brenna Nolt. Double pike for a first pass, beautifully done. Nice solid landing. She was super confident about that landing. Her leap connection there. And if you can't hear her music from home, this is a little Mission Impossible. It's kind of fun. Nice high Rudy. Great personality through this routine. Facial expressions, dance moves. She's really putting a lot of fun personality into this routine. Moving into her last tumbling pass. A 1.5 into a front layout. That front layout probably could have been a little higher out of that 1.5. But nice solid landings and connections on that routine. Beautiful choreography, beautifully done for Stanford. Next up for Arizona is Elena Dietz. Elena is a senior out of Maple Grove, Minnesota. And she is a very elegant, beautiful gymnast. Her technique is gorgeous on every event she does. You'll see her also compete on floor. 9.825 for Jessica Castles. Back handspring layout, step out, rock solid there for Arizona. Nice solid full turn. Again, a required element. The tumbling series, the full turn, the leap series, or 2 connected leaps. She does that right there. Front toss, super solid and elegant. All she needs is this dismount to be a nice solid landing. Into a gainer full off the side, and she does that solid landing. And that is experience right there, delivering a solid routine for Arizona. After they've had that fall, and every score is going to count from gymnast number 2 all the way through their last athlete. So that was a phenomenal job. So next up for Stanford is Terrelyn Wynn. Setting up for her first tumbling pass. Huge double lay, beautifully done. Landed with her chest up. Had lots of power. Really nice height on all of those leaps and jumps. Setting up for her last pass. 2.5 punch front. She buckled just a little bit out of that 2.5 into the punch front, but what a very difficult floor routine and tumbling. And especially to finish with that tumbling pass at the very end of the routine, you're oftentimes a little bit tired, and she, did a nice job having lots of power. Abigail Martin is up next for Arizona. Abigail is a freshman, scored a 9.8 last week. split jump into a double stag ring position. Very difficult to do when you take your eyes off the balance beam and you put your head back. Back handspring, layout, step out, solid. Abigail was a national beam champion in her club career before Arizona. And Taylor Spears really trusts her in these high pressure situations that she's going to be able to deliver a great routine when the pressure is on. Full turn. And I honestly love all the details of her routine. Her hand position is gorgeous. Beautiful toe point. And her dismount round off 1.5 steps forward out of that, but that's really about the only error I saw in the routine is that over rotation and step forward. So it appears that Stanford's done on floor. They just had the 5 athletes perform, and Arizona is going to have all 6 compete so they can drop the 1 score. They're going to have a few girls exhibition then after their lineup competes. Allison Fears is the last competitor up for Arizona in this lineup. Arizona is going to need to put up a nice high score for the last routine so they can count all of those last 5 scores for their final team score. And so far, Arizona has really delivered. Emily Muller, 9.875. Jessica Castles, 9.825. Elena Dietz, 9.925. Just waiting on the score for Abigail Martin, that last competitor that went. And being a freshman, I mean, she really handled that pressure nicely, being able to get up and do a routine, a quality routine. You didn't see her look nervous. She kept working through each skill one at a time and handled each skill beautifully. So looks like a 9.85 and a 9.75 is being flashed. So a 9.8 average is what Abigail Martin will score. And it looks like a 9.5 on floor. Looks like there might have been some issues with the start value of the last competitor for Stanford hurting that score. She did not have a 10.0 start value. So 9.5 on floor for Stanford. Back handspring layout, step out, nice and solid for Allison. And on floor, if I go back to that, I mean, this is when having that 6th athlete would come in nicely, is being able to drop one of those scores, one of the 9.5s that Stanford had. Nice aerial cartwheel there for Allison. Split leap, double stag. Just looking for now the dismount here. Round off 1.5. Nice landing for Allison, and Arizona gets through the beam lineup, having 5 solid scores they're counting. Already going into that final competitor was still a 48.6, so Arizona delivered a nice job there on that beam lineup. Stanford putting up a 48.4, which is definitely lower than what they are used to. Last week they scored a 49.225. So for Stanford, that is a little on the lower side for them. There is definitely a lot of upside on their floor routines with their dynamic tumbling and unique choreography, but just had a few mistakes and missing that one competitor, so they are probably looking to build on that depth as they move through the season. So next up on the balance beam, we have Emma Strom from Omaha, Nebraska, being in the exhibition spot. And Emma is new to the beam lineup here. She has not been in the beam lineup since her first competition as a freshman back at Ohio State. I know Taylor is looking to build her beam lineup as next year some of her seniors will be graduating. They have a large graduating class. So competitors like Emma and other freshmen are going to need to fill some of those gaps next year. Emma is a 8-time state beam and regional champion. Switch leap into a straddle quarter. Nice height on that. Setting up for her tumbling series. Back handspring, layout step out, takes a step back, tries to cover that little balance check up nicely. Double wolf turn done, very nice. That is a new skill for Emma this year, very difficult. Again, to spin around 2 times on something 4 inches wide, keeping your leg up in that position, very difficult. Takes a lot of core strength. And is now setting up for her dismount. I love how she has a smile on her face while she's on the balance beam. Round off, 1.5, into a nice stuck dismount. She is showing those judges, I stuck that, here I am. Nice job for Emma on beam today in that exhibition spot. And you can see there on that landing, she's like, hey, here I am, I stuck that. Judges, please take note of that. And again, like I said, that is something the judges are looking for this year, is to really show that you stuck that landing. So you will see some of those girls land and pause before they turn and salute the judges, because they do not want that additional 0.05 deduction for their landing. So other than that little balance check on her tumbling series, that was a solid routine done by Emma Strom. Next up in the exhibition spot is Sophie Durr. She's a freshman. We saw her earlier on bars do a phenomenal job. And again, they're wanting to be able to use Sophie here in the future on all 4 events. She's been in that bar lineup since the beginning of the year. And a 9.725 for Emma Strom in the exhibition spot. Back handspring layout step out. Looked like she was maybe just a little off and held on to that to not have a wobble. Switch leap and had a little break there, straddle jump into a split jump. Have to have 2 leaps that are in combination, and since she broke the connection there out of her switch leap, she went ahead and did another leap just to fulfill that requirement. So punch front, little balance check, but really nice, really unique skill to see. You don't see that very often, very hard skill. And a split half. Full turn, little balance check there, but again, that dreaded full turn sometimes will get you. You do these hard tumbling skills and do a full turn and have a wobble. Now it's just nerves typically. And the dismount and a nice 1.5. She did a back handspring into her 1.5. Just a different way to get into that dismount. You can either do it, with the round off or a back handspring in front of it. And she did a very nice job as an exhibition, especially as a freshman. So that is going to wrap up the beam rotation for Arizona, a 49.175 for Arizona, a 48.4 for Stanford. So Arizona really has taken the lead by almost a full point now. 147.6 for Arizona, Stanford 146.625. So Arizona has definitely moved into the lead going into their strongest event, which is floor. So you are watching Arizona Gymnastics on the Arizona live stream, and we will be back very soon.
Final rotation. Stanford will be on beam. Arizona will be on floor. First on beam for Stanford, Claire Dean.
She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick house. I like lady stack, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. She's a brick house. Well, put together, everybody knows this is how the story goes. She knows she's got everything that a woman needs to get a man. She lose with the suit she used. 36, 24, 36.
First on floor for Arizona, Elena Dietz.
Elena has beautiful lines, especially on floor here. Opens with a front layout, front full, dances right out of that. Her very difficult leap series there. Nice split and amplitude. A lot of the difficulty of Elena's routine is from her leaps and jumps. Finishes with a double tuck, beautiful landing, chest up. Really gorgeous routine and nice way for Arizona to start off this floor lineup. Now on beam for Stanford is Tara Lynn Wynn. Layout, step out, layout, step out. Ooh, has a little bit of a wobble there on the last layout, step out. Very difficult combination. Doesn't do a back handspring in front of that, just does a standing layout, step out. Actually didn't even see that coming, just jumped right into that. There's a switch side there. Claire Dean scored a 9.825 for her beam routine. And a double full dismount, has a hop back. Next up for Arizona is Allison Fears. Last week scored a 9.9. Has been a solid floor competitor for Arizona. This lineup has not changed all season. Arizona last week scored a 49-4, which matched their first week, which was also a 49-4. So they have really solidified. They are a strong floor team this year. And the score for Elena Dietz is a 9.875. It's a half a tenth improvement over the previous week. Allison's first pass, double tuck. Nice landing, chest up. Lots of height. Switch side into a popa. Allison will be doing 3 tumbling passes in her routine. I know we've seen a lot of 2-pass routines, but Rudy, solid landing there. Really tries to show off that landing. Allison does a very difficult last tumbling pass here. 1.5. Oh, in a punch pull, it looked like her knees. Is not something we would normally see from Allison. She normally can nail that last pass. And that's unfortunate to see because that was a beautiful routine up to that point. But that is a very difficult last tumbling pass. It's a 3/10 bonus to be able to do that combination. And next up for Stanford is Ashley Carter. And does a nice triple series. Has a little bit of a balance check. I don't think she really needed that balance check. That was gorgeous. Good back handspring layout, step out. Full turn. That was a straddle half into a beat jump. Getting ready for her dismount. Round off 1.5. Takes a step forward on that landing. Going to move over to floor. Next up for Arizona is Emma Strom from Omaha, Nebraska. Emma's been in this 3rd spot all season long in the floor lineup. Just waiting on the score for Allison Fears. The judges are still trying to come up with the score and the start value correctly. With that fall, her start value will be a 9.8 for a 9.05 for Allison Fears. So for the rest of the Arizona group, they're going to really have to focus on making these routines and focusing on the details because every score will count. But like I mentioned at the beginning, this Arizona floor lineup has been solid all season. They really know how to sell these routines, and they've really focused on the details. Assistant coach Kylie Cratchwell has done a really beautiful job of choreographing these routines this year and trying to get the crowd involved and making these routines fun and memorable. And next up for Arizona, Emma Strom is no exception to that. She really, right from the first note of her floor music, the crowd gets involved and tends to have a lot of fun, start clapping. So sit back and enjoy the next couple of routines. There's a lot of fun energy in the building. We're just waiting on these judges to get ready. And looks like they're ready now. I think with this floor music, everyone can sit back and think of any fun time they've had listening to this song. It's always a crowd favorite here at McHale. Setting up for her first tumbling pass. Rudy to a huge layout step out. Going into her leaps, switch leap, switch ring half. Does that beautifully. Music switching now to Tainted Love. Getting ready for her last pass. Again, another difficult combination here. A 1.5 front fold, lands that, moves right out of that. And that's a nice routine for Emma and this Arizona group trying to make a comeback. Next up for the Cardinals is Brenna Nault. Doing her mount on the end of the beam, really unusual and quite pretty how she moved out of that and rolled on the beam. Back handspring, layout step out. Very solid. Looks like the score is in for Emma Strom, 9.85 from both judges. Switch leap, split jump. Front aerial, nice and solid. And just like she did on floor, she does on beam here. She's dancing and showing all that personality. Nice full turn. Dismount, round off 1.5 to a stuck landing. Really nice routine there for Stanford. So next up on floor is Emily Muller. Emily's a junior from North Carolina, and she's been in this floor lineup since she was a freshman, and you'll see why. She loves to just play with the crowd and dance and have a great time during this floor routine. She really knows how to sell it and show off to the crowd. First pass, double pike, beautiful landing. Switch side to a popa. Nice precision on that dance series. 1.5 front layout. And Emily is also going to do 3 tumbling passes. Last tumbling pass, double tuck. Scooch back on that landing just a little quick, but really beautiful height. Great dance showmanship on that routine. That was a great routine for Arizona as they continue with this floor rotation. Ira Alexeva is up next for Stanford. And a double wolf turn was just had a little bit of a balance move there in the middle of that wolf turn. But again, very difficult, and that was done really nice. I'm just kind of nitpicking, but back handspring layout, step out, very solid, beautiful form. 9-9 for Emily Muller on floor for Arizona. And just a little off on that leap series, that switch half into the beat jump. But she really held on nicely, didn't show that she was too off, but and a front full dismount. And nice duck landing. Caroline Harry's up next for Arizona. Last week, Caroline scored a 9.85. Again, she's been a solid performer for Arizona since she was a freshman. She's now a senior captain of this team. The girls really look up to her for her leadership abilities, both inside the gym and out in the classroom. A 9.925 for Brenna Nolt on beam. Nice solid performance for Stanford. First pass, double tuck, sky high on that. Was able to even kind of open up to land that. Beautifully done. Second pass, 1.5 front layout. Really beautiful execution on that. Great landing. Going for her last tumbling pass. Double pike, beautiful landing. Wow, she really knows how to find that landing. That was a gorgeous routine by Caroline Harry for Arizona. Next up for Stanford is Portia Trinidad. Ira Alexeva scored a 9.875 for Stanford on the previous routine. So Stanford's done a really nice job of building these scores. They had, 1-9-6-7-5, but beyond that, they've been able to really come back and show that they're a strong beam team. Like I said, week 1, they were able to score a 49-4-2-5, so we know that they're capable of scoring a really high score on this event. Back handspring layout, step out. Just a little balance check with that step backwards. Scores in for Carolina, 9-9. 9-9-5 from one judge, 9-8-5 from the other. Split jump into a ring jump. Very difficult jump, again, taking your eyes off the beam. Front aerial. Did take a step out of that. Didn't look like she, had a wobble, but that movement out of it is not part of the skill, but she covered that nicely. Back handspring, gainer full off the side into a great landing. Very nice routine for Stanford. Last up on floor is Malia Hargrove, senior out of Sparks, Nevada. This is Malia's 5th year as a Wildcat. And she is tiny, but don't let that fool you. She knows how to tumble, and she is sky high on her tumbling passes and looks like she has all power. And she'll have a unique dance skill in the middle of her routine that the entire team is going to do with her. It's kind of fun to watch. Hopefully the cameras can pick that up. Her first tumbling pass. Full twisting double back. Beautiful landing. Great way to start that routine. Second pass, whip half into a front full. Dances right out of that. Switch ring. That's her unique skill. The team's doing the wave behind her. You can't quite see that with the camera view, but always a crowd favorite here in McHale. Getting ready for her last pass. Double tuck, and finds that landing perfectly. Said, hey, I don't need to step back. I can just stick that. And she did. Great routine for Malia, and way to go to these Wildcats. Coming back after a fall on floor and being able to put up 5 solid routines. Really impressive floor rotation, even with that small mistake. And that's why these Wildcats are so strong on floor and have shown that throughout the season. We're going to have an exhibition now for the Wildcats. Sophie Durr, freshman, is going to show us her floor routine. This will be her first time doing floor in the exhibition spot. 9.875 for Malia Hargrove. 9.9 and 9.85 from the judges. And again, this Wildcat team is really looking for the future with gymnasts like freshman Sophie Durr, as has that all-around experience, national experience in their club days, and she's going to be able to show you her beautiful lines, her power, and really just how she can execute her skills. And the crowd's really excited about the fact there was a 9.875 posted, and the Wildcats get out of that floor rotation with all scores above a 9.85. And that's really the goal that head coach John Court has for this team. So let's sit back and watch freshman Sophie Durr. Front layout, front full. Her leap combination, nice height on those leaps. And a 9.8 for Portia Trinidad on the balance beam. Double pike. Holds onto that landing nicely. And that's a great routine for freshman Sophie Durr. And that is the end of the competition. And looks like Arizona is going to finish with another 49.4 on floor. That's 3 times this season. And even with a little adversity, it really just is great to see this Wildcat team able to come back and be able to post up some really high scores and really also show that there's some depth to this team with having their exhibition routines on all the events today. So things look really great for this Arizona team. This is why they're currently ranked 19th in the country. 9.775 comes in for Sophie Durr on that exhibition routine. So hang tight with us. We'll get you the final team score here today. And next week you can watch Arizona travel to UCLA and take on UCLA in a dual meet. And that'll be a great rivalry competition that happens next week as everyone moves on from the Pac-12. Arizona moving on to the Big 12. This will be one of the last times those two teams will meet as a Pac-12 competition there at UCLA. Stanford finished that beam rotation with a 49.175. Not their highest beam rotation of the year, but pretty close. Again, their highest of the year was a 49.425. And they put up some big scores there towards the end of that rotation. Arizona was leading going into that final rotation by almost a point. They'll be able to build on that lead with that final floor rotation. Should be able to, if I'm doing my math correctly, I would say probably win by 1.3 roughly. If memory serves me correct. We're going to announce the top scores for each event as well as the team final. And again, both of these teams are looking to improve their national qualifying score and build on that each and every week as they try and prepare to qualify to get to nationals. On vault, there is a 4-way tie for second place with a 9.825. A couple of Stanford girls and Allison Fears. 4-way tie for second with a 9.825.
With a score of 9.875.
And your winner on vault at 9875 was Malia Hargrove. You remember that beautiful Yurchenko 1.5.
And now the results for bars in third place with a score of 9.925 from Stanford, Ira Alexeva.
9.925 Ira Alexeva.
9.95.
9.95.
Chloe Whitner. And in first place on bars with a score of 9.975 from Arizona,
And Abigail Martin with a 9.975 wins bars today as a freshman.
And now the results for beam. In third place, we have a two-way tie, both with a score of 9.
We have a two-way tie, 9875 from Stanford, Kira
And from Arizona, Emily Muller.
and Emily Moeller.
For beam, we have a two-way tie for
We have
first
a
place.
two-way tie for first place, 9925.
Brenna Nolt.
Brenna Nolt.
And from Arizona,
And from Arizona, Elena Dietz taking home the balance beam titles tonight.
and now the results for floor. We have a two-way tie.
We have a two-way tie
With a score of 9.
on floor, 9875.
From Arizona, Elena Dietz.
Elena Dietz and Malia Hargrove.
On floor, we have a two-way tie for first place.
And we have a two-way tie for first place,
From Arizona,
9-9, both from Arizona, Caroline Harry and Emily Moeller. I'm hearing all of these results secondhand, so sorry, I'm a little slow on them. I don't have them in front of me.
Rounds in third place with a score of
And your all-around,
38.425 from Arizona,
38.425, Allison Fears.
in second place in the individual all-around with a
Second
score of
place,
39.125.
39.125 from Stanford.
First place for the individual all-around with a score of 39.275.
And 39.275. And Brenna Nolt takes home the all-around title tonight in this
We'd
dual
like to
meet.
announce the gymnast of the meet chosen by each team's coaches.
And the gymnast of the meet chosen by
The meet, Portia Trinidad.
Portia Trinidad from Stanford
And for Arizona, the gymnast of the meet, Emily Muller.
and Emily Moeller from Arizona.
And now the final team scores. It came down to 196 to 197. In first place, your Arizona.
And Arizona is the winner of today's competition with a 197. Stanford with a 196. So thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon to watch your Wildcats. Catch them next week at UCLA, and let's continue to have a solid season for these Wildcats. Thank you for tuning in and watching Arizona Gymnastics on the Arizona live stream.
Back in action on Thursday, February 15th at 6 p.m. when they take on ASU. It'll be a red house, so make sure you wear red. That's Thursday, February 15th at 6 p.m. right here at McHale Center.